left of my human side is slowly changing in me. Will you give it to me? Looking at my own reflection, when suddenly it changes, violently it changes. Oh no, there is no turning back now.
What is going on, everyone? Glad to be back here on YouTube. I see Cdogg's in here. I'll drop a link for you, Cdogg. I'm sure you want to come on and tell us about a few things. But yeah, I do want to take calls tonight. I want to hear what is the state of the fan base? I mean, particularly we're talking about football, but because the football season ended the way it did, I think we need something else to look to for a little bit of hope. Maybe baseball. Baseball looks like we're wiener slapping balls over the fence, but man, basketball looking rough, isn't it? All right, sounds good, buddy.
It seems that all that was good has died and is decaying in me. Will you give it to me? It seems you're having some trouble in dealing with these changes, living with these changes. Now the world is a scary place. Now that you've woken up the demon, the enemy. Come on, get down with the sickness. Come on, get down with the sickness. Come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your hate and let it open up.
What a perfect song for basketball. If you're going to watch that, you better get down with the sickness because you're going to puke.
Come on, get down with the sickness. And this is the gift that has been given to me. Yeah, when I dream. Oh, get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your hate and then they open to me. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You mother, get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You fucker, get up, come on, get down with the sickness. And this has now come over me.
There's a StreamYard link at the top of the chat. If you want to call in, talk shop with your boy Wreck, I'll come on, give a little spiel about, whatever horse shit I think's going on, then we'll get to you. We'll get started here in a minute. Again, if you want to call in, there's a StreamYard link pinned to the top of the chat. And I want to hear what you think about the state of the Georgia Tech fan base. What do you say we just hop into it? What do you say we just hop into it? Hope all you guys are having a great Sunday night. Let's go through the chat here real quick. We got King Season in here, says, yo. Michael Butler, go Jackets. Mr. Burns has some strong opinions about, I always have called him Dante Stoudemire, but evidently his name is Damon Stoudemire. So he says he is pitiful at best. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Cdogg says he's at his dad's house, so maybe when he gets home, he'll hop on here with us. That'd be great. Ballard in here says, yo, Jacket Nation, remember, winning ain't free. Send a check, even if it's only $100. We need 40,000 fans sending a check every calendar quarter. That would be $16 million annually. We're going to talk about some other math that I'd like us to do tonight. Coffee Killer says, evening all. Mark 7883, Rhett can coach them up better than Stoudemire. Maybe. I mean, honestly, and I don't follow basketball, it would be hard to be worse than we are in basketball. Jabo Sports says, what's up, Breck? So I pulled up, how bad is Damon Stoudemire? So let's go look at his coaching record. He has coached in college once before at Pacific, where he was 48% winning percentage. 2016, he goes 11-22, 14-18 the next year, 14-18, 23-10, and then 9-9. At Georgia Tech, he's even worse. He's about a 45% winning percentage at Georgia Tech. Now, I haven't watched much basketball at all, but I don't need to. I'm the fan that they're trying to get, right? Like, I need a reason to give any kind of shit about basketball. Without watching it, and people who have tell me if I'm wrong, I imagine we're very turnover prone, ton of turnovers every night, lack of hustle. When there's a loose ball, we're not hustling to it. Low percentage shots, all of this. So I'll tell you how bad J-Bat, or not, I just saw someone say J-Bat. J-Bat, not J-Bat. Damon Stoudemire is. A week or two ago, we lost to NC State. Or, no, we beat NC State. We beat NC State in the press conference. They asked NC State's basketball coach, do you still think you got a shot to make the tournament? March Madness. Does anyone know what he said? He said, hell no, we just lost to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech basketball is so bad that it is an embarrassment to lose to Georgia Tech in basketball. So, I don't know when the man's getting fired. I imagine he's getting fired, though. What are you guys saying in the chat? Maybe J-Bat wasn't all that. Well, I mean, I don't know about that. The crazy part is that we actually have a fairly talented roster. Yeah, there was, I saw this on Twitter, this post where it showed basically talent versus success. And Georgia Tech on that chart was the most talented team, or like top 5, top 10 most talented team with the least amount of success to go with it. So I don't know what you've got to see to say. I mean, that's coaching. It's coaching. Only make adjustments when we're out of the game. Now, before we had Josh Pastner, and Josh Pastner, I think, was a good dude, and I actually think he was a good coach that was hamstrung by an archaic, Princeton style of offense. I think if he wasn't just married to that style of offense, Pastner might have worked out. And look, I mean, Georgia Tech kind of used to be known for basketball, right? You go back to Bobby Crimmins, the Thriller Dome, and like a core memory of mine was it 2004? Georgia Tech goes deep to the finals. I remember me and my dad watching Jarrett Jack, Bynum, Luke Schincher. Was it Schincher? The kid from Australia that was like 7 foot in that tournament. And it was amazing. They ended up losing to Connecticut with Paul Hewitt in the finals that year. But it was huge. I don't think we've sniffed anything even remotely like that since that year. We might have had some decent years. I think, we hired Gregory and then a bunch of other guys. Pastner had recruiting restrictions because of his predecessor. That is true. Jay Shipes is in here, says, first comment got deleted by YouTube, I guess, showing my girl Tiger King for the first time. I got to tell you, I mean, this is random, but I actually respect Tiger King because I myself can be quite petty. I respect just how petty Tiger King is. The lengths that he went to slightly inconvenience Carol Baskins should be studied for decades to come. This man stole Carol Baskin's diary, read it on an internet show like this one that I don't know that 10 people ever watched. It just amazing. Girl gets her arm torn off by a tiger. What is Tiger King's response? I am never going to financially recover from this. King Season says that chart overrates how much talent we have. We have a top 10 talented team in the ACC, and we're bottom 3 in the conference. 80% of our problem is coaching, 10% is injury, 10% is no depth at guard. Yeah, the chart might be flawed, but I do think that the general point is we far underperform the talent that we have. And that's got to change. So, does anyone remember I thought Pastner was going to be fired for cause. Do you remember why I thought Pastner was going to be fired for cause? He let some jabroni get way too close to him. That wasn't a coach, just a friend of his. And then when Pastner came to Tech, I believe he was like, hey, I got to back this guy off. This is probably inappropriate to have some friend, in the locker room with kids. And then I believe that gentleman's wife accused Pastner of like sexual misconduct, sexual assault. And then he had to go through a long drawn out legal battle. And he ended up being vindicated in that. But then what happened when we hired Damon Stoudemire? Does anyone remember? That was when the Mel Tugger thing was going on with him pulling a Louis C.K. with a girl that came to speak to Michigan State about being like a sexual assault victim. Damon Stoudemire was named in some of those court documents because he was reportedly dating this girl at the same time Mel Tucker was, which is also messed up because I'm fairly certain Damon Stoudemire is married. All I'm saying is whoever we hire next as basketball coach, can they at least not be mired in some sort of sexual controversy? Is this too much to ask? Anyways, StreamYard link at the top of the chat if you want to call in. What I want to talk about. So, Uncle Lou had a stream last night for this. If you're unaware, Cdogg had a kid in November. Precious little baby boy. Healthy. And, as of now, everything is, 100% okay. But, and I'm just reading off the GoFundMe, and based off what Cdogg has told me, baby Jet, born on November 16th, 2025, was born with a congenital heart defect called tetralogy of Follett. I might be mispronouncing that. He will be having open heart surgery at Boston Children's Hospital in Boston on March 18th. So Cdogg will not be at the Slob Olympics because they are having to drop everything, go to Boston to have open heart surgery on their child, which is terrifying. Don't know how long that they'll have to be there. And from talking with Cdogg, it's not like it sounds ultra serious, and it is ultra serious. I believe the doctor said this is a relatively routine thing as far as open heart surgery on infants can be. So the link is in the description of this video. Let me see if I can pull it up here. This is the GoFundMe. They've raised $7,600 right now out of $10K. Now, obviously, I think we can get them more than that. But I think, what do they lack here? They lack $2,319 to get to that goal. If just 115 people were to donate $20, they would get them to 10K. And like I said, they don't know how long that they're going to be there. So, look, Cdogg has provided us a ton of entertainment. I can't imagine what they're going through with this. Like, for anyone that has a kid, I have a kid, it's terrifying. So I know things are tight. If you can find it within yourself to donate some money to that. Again, the GoFundMe, I don't think it will let me drop the link in this chat. I think it's too long. Well, I guess it did let me. Link is in the chat. Let me pin that to the top of the chat. Boom. So there's the GoFundMe for Cdogg. Definitely go help him out. And hopefully he comes on later. So let's see what you guys are saying. Pastner at UNLV was 14-13 right now, better than us. Or Pastner is, yeah. Again, if you want to call in, it's not much of a call-in show if there are no callers. That being said, I did, and I don't know, I think I went to one baseball game as a student. Now, Danny Hall retires last year. A lot of people were ready to see Danny Hall go in baseball. Why? When was the last time that we made it further than like the regionals? It had been, I was in high school probably or something like that. Every season a disappointment. Georgia Tech 8-0 in basketball or in baseball. Absolutely wiener slapping balls. In fact, what did they score? 50 runs in the first 3 games? Lot to be excited about in baseball, giving me a reason to watch them. They're ranked number 2 right now. I'm probably going to follow some baseball. In fact, probably for members where I can, where it doesn't conflict with my work schedule, I'll do a live stream for those games in the same manner that we do for football. Also thinking about watching some classic Tech games, like a lot of them through the 90s for members, and doing a watch party for that like we do in season. Because I have neglected the members, and I do apologize for that. On the football side, which we all know is what I'm most concerned about, we do lose some more staff, and I'd have to go back and look at it. I know we lose our strength and conditioning coach, and he's taking another position. Is it at Alabama, Alex Mathis? So still bleeding staff on the football side. I believe we lose Kyle Pope, was he outside linebackers or defensive back coach. And didn't we hire a linebackers coach that was immediately hired by Notre Dame? I don't know. Like, we're still really struggling with keeping coaches. King Season says he lost Nate George because of money, not completely his fault because we don't fund basketball like that. In saying that, though, it's his job to replace him and failed to get a quality point guard. True. Again, link at the top of the chat if you want to call in. But yeah, so look, what do we got coming in on the football side? I do think we got some solid portal additions. obviously, Justice Haynes being the big one. Justice Haynes, if he can stay healthy, is a Heisman quality type running back for you. Now, obviously, he wasn't able to complete the season. He had a right ankle injury that he ended up having to have surgery on. But that's huge. The point guard that he brought in is low key better than George. Okay, maybe maybe Damon Stoudemire can be my new Jeff Collins. Like, I need a new enemy. Really, I do. I need a new enemy. And Damon the equivalent? Like, is he as bad a basketball coach? We should do a poll. As Jeff Collins was a football coach. Let's start a poll. Is Stoudemire, is that how you spell his name? Stouda. I missed the T. Is Stoudemire as bad a basketball coach as Collins was a football coach at Georgia Tech? Interested to know what you guys think about that, because I don't know basketball like some of you do. King Season says, nah, it's close, though. It's close. I mean, if it's close, man, that's disastrously bad. It's disastrously bad. Joe, you don't want to call in? Zach, you don't want to call in? I guess the other question is, when do you think Damon will be fired? Will they wait to the end of the season? Would they fire him in season? Is there anything he could do to save his job? Because he's already lost as many games as he did last year for the entire year. So he's going to have the worst season he's had at Georgia Tech in his third year. I mean, we've only won 2 conference games. Oh, there's Joe. What's going on, Joe?
What's up?
How are you, sir?
Doing pretty good. Baseball team's rocking and rolling, so can't complain.
Yeah, at least we have that, right?
Hey, I'm telling you, the baseball team, like I've watched college baseball since I was like 10 years old. And this team, it's like when you watch them, before I get into that though, obviously prayers to Cdogg and his family. But when you watch them, it's like I've watched every single game from start to finish, and it's like they pitch around Burris all the time. I mean, obviously, he's going to be picked in the first 3 picks of the draft. But then it's like right after Burris comes up to bat, you've got Alex Hernandez.
Yeah.
Who's probably going to be, at minimum, he's a day 1 pick, but probably going to be another first rounder. And then after that, you get Von Lackey, who's going to be probably top 10 pick. Then you get Kent Schmidt, who bats 400. Doesn't have a lot of power, but bats 400. And then, and then all through down the lineup, it's just like MLB prospect, MLB prospect, MLB prospect.
So you're telling me we've got 3 top 10 picks in our lineup?
You've got 2 for sure's.
In Hernandez and Burris.
Burris and Von Lackey, the catcher.
Okay.
And then, but Alex Hernandez could work into I think right now, he's probably a first rounder right now. I would say he's probably in the 20s, would be my guess.
That's pretty legit. That Hernandez kid, I think we got out of California too, right?
Yeah, I think he came out of California, but I mean, he just mashes the ball, and he has really good at bats. I mean, he doesn't swing at things out. That's the thing that's really impressive with his team is they're not swinging at crazy pitches. They're letting them go by. They're very patient at the plate. Every single player always has good at bats. Now when they get in to see better pitching, then we'll be the judge of it. But like Bowling Green's not a terrible team. Georgia Southern, they're pretty bad.
Yeah, they've given up Brook, like 100 runs this year, something crazy like that.
Yeah, and then Stony Brook, I would for just by looking at them, I don't think they're a bad team at all for their conference.
Yeah, let me look at our schedule. When's our first big test here?
They've got Auburn coming up, I'm pretty sure.
Well, they got Virginia Tech March 6th. Is the first Division I team I see they play. I don't know much about I don't know what Virginia Tech's got in baseball. March 12th, we've got Clemson on the road.
Clemson will be very good.
And then after that, at Auburn, at Pitt, and at NC State. So middle of March, we start getting into the meat of things.
Yeah, and I think Auburn's a midweek game, and don't ever judge your baseball team off of midweek games.
Gotcha.
They don't, especially out of conference, and then midweeks it's just you're not throwing one of your best three pitchers in those games.
Yeah.
And it's middle of the week. It's weird. They're just weird games.
Yeah, I see. Was it Hoosier for life? Are you an Indiana fan? It says, I thought you only cared about college football. I do in my heart, but we're in the off season. We got to talk about other things. There's not much going on in the football world, and we have a good baseball team. And as good as we are in baseball, we're on the opposite side of the spectrum on basketball. So I thought, I thought we'd talk about it. But yeah, look, Burris is going to get pitched around all year. It makes me think of Greg Maddux talking about, in a lot of ways, Barry Bonds was the easiest guy to pitch to because if it mattered, you just didn't pitch to him. Like you got to get 27 outs. He's probably not going to be one of them. And I'm sure that's how people look at Burris.
I can't remember. There was one team when they were playing Bonds, they actually intentionally walked him with the bases loaded.
Yeah, giving up 1 run's better than 4.
Yeah.
Like Bonds, this is what people, I know this is a different conversation. I don't think people realize how good Barry Bonds was because he's marred and he was juiced to the gills on steroids. He would have easily been in the Hall of Fame without ever taking a drop of steroids, though. Like, he was a ridiculous hitter.
I'm of the thing that I think he should be in.
Well, they need to make some kind of judgment on that because, like,
they got other guys in the Hall of Fame that were roided out.
They do, and like Roger Clemens has been left out, and like Roger Clemens was obviously juiced, but I don't blame him because everyone he was pitching to was also juiced. Like Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds. Leave some steroids for the rest of us.
A-Rod was juiced.
Yes. Is A-Rod in the Hall?
A-Rod's in the Hall, so is Poppy. He's in the Hall of Fame. He was juiced. He was the first ballot Hall of Famer.
I tell you who I'm really glad got into the Hall of Fame is Andrew Jones. And it's sad that I think it took that long because maybe Andrew Jones used steroids at some time. He wasn't juiced to the gills. And what did he have? 14 straight gold gloves at center field?
Yeah. I don't think Andrew Jones took roids. The issue with Andrew Jones was he just threw his body around in center field for 14 years, and eventually it finally just caught up with him.
Well, he also showed up to Yankees training camp about 40 pounds overweight. He was like 270 or something when he showed up to camp. Yeah. Like, he just kind of lost the will to play. But, I mean, how many wins of Maddux, Glavine, and Smoltz came off the glove of Andrew Jones? A lot of them.
Well, that was the thing. Bobby Cox always said that if Andrew Jones was batting 200, struggling at the plate, he used to always tell people, he's like, it doesn't matter. He's got runs in his glove.
Yeah. Yeah, he was stupid good. So, and I guess you're too young to remember that stretch, right, of having those three.
I don't remember any of them. I mean, I've read a lot about them because I love baseball more than baseball. Honestly, is probably my favorite sport.
Okay, yeah. Another core memory for me, and I didn't appreciate it at the time. That let's count the Hall of Famers that were on that team for a stretch of time: Andrew Jones, Chipper Jones, John Smoltz, Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine. That's 2 300-win starting pitchers, which you're never going to see again. You will never see another 300-win starting pitcher. And so that's 5.
Eddie Perez.
Is he in the Hall?
I'm pretty sure Eddie Perez is. David Justice is not.
He wasn't with them for that long, though, I don't think. I'm talking about those 5 guys were with each other for like half a decade or more at least.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Glavine came up in the farm system for the Braves.
Did you know Tom Glavine got drafted as a hockey player?
Yeah, he's from Canada.
Is he from Canada? I know that he was like, well, I'll pitch once every 5 days instead of losing teeth every day.
Yeah, he's from Canada. But you know, a lot of people know this with Greg Maddux. The Braves, they were wanting to get a home run signing in free agency, and it was between they were either going to sign Greg Maddux or Barry Bonds. And they chose Greg Maddux, which I think was the right choice because pitching wins championships.
Yeah, they only got one, but it's just having Maddux. Like Maddux is probably
Maddux is one of the best 3 pitchers of all time.
He could be the best. Like that's what's so good about that stretch of baseball because you had Maddux, you had the big unit, Randy Johnson. You had who I think was probably the best pure talent pitcher in Pedro Martinez. And then you had Roger Clemens. I mean, who else do we have in there? That Kurt Schilling was really good at a time. Nolan Ryan, yeah.
Nolan Ryan to me is the best pure talent pitcher because he threw about 100, but he maintained it until
he stayed healthy.
He was in his 40s.
Yeah, that's what's wrong with the game right now is everyone's trying to throw 100 plus with movement, and they're tearing their arms up when they're 27.
Yeah, the Braves with Hurston Waldrop bragging about how he hit 99 in his 8th bullpen session of the day in spring training. And then 30 minutes later, Walt Weiss goes to the stand and says, yeah, Hurston Waldrop's done for the year. He's having Tommy John. Why is he throwing 99 in a bullpen session in spring training?
It's insane. I mean, that's what got Smoltz. Smoltz had a nasty split finger fastball. I mean, Smoltz is probably the most talented pitcher of those 3, but he tore his arm up. Then you look at Maddux, who probably never comfortably threw above 93. But what he win 350 games? Also one of the weirdest guys. I know, go ahead.
What, 3 Cy Youngs? I think it was 3.
No,
I think he won 3.
Maddux won 4.
4 Cy Youngs. I know it was a lot.
He had like 4 years where he had a sub-3 ERA. I mean, just nasty. And what you've probably seen, and I know we're talking about Major League Baseball, I get it, but probably one of the weirdest individuals that have ever lived, too. Greg Maddux got a Woody on the mound. He got an erection on the mound. That sumbitch loved pitching.
He used to tip his pitches on purpose.
Yeah, he would give a hitter. I mean, we've probably all heard the story. I forget who he was going against where the game didn't matter. The guy's looking fastball up and in to turn on, gives it to him, hits a home run, just so he can strike him out with something different in the playoffs. But he never admitted that. I'm just trying to get out, so I'm not thinking about that. But he was a calculated guy. He peed on Chipper Jones' leg when Chipper was a rookie.
Yeah.
A weird dude.
They did, the thing is now, though, it's like we talk about like those guys, like you're referring to them, they were pitchers. Now we've got a bunch of throwers.
Yeah, how can I throw it by you?
And they can't locate. They have no command. And it's like Georgia Tech, for example, with their pitchers this year, the reason I think pitching is way more improved is because we've got guys that go into the game and they throw strikes.
Well, I would tell any pitcher coming up, and I'm not an expert in baseball, if you really want to learn what it takes to be a pitcher, you watch Tom Glavine. Tom Glavine pitched his way to the Hall of Fame, and this is in the words of John Smoltz, with less than impressive stuff. Didn't have the best slider or an overpowering fastball, but he located pitches. Can you put your
Mhm.
changeup where it needs to be, down and away, right off the plate? Most guys can't.
No, my cousin, he actually pitches for Samford. They played Georgia this weekend. I went and watched him play there. But it's like his coach drove me crazy. Like my cousin after the game was talking to me. He's like, when he throws his changeup, he hates throwing his changeup because he doesn't feel comfortable with it, and it also hurts his arm to throw the changeup with the grip that they've taught him or something.
What
But
is it, like a Vulcan or a circle change? What does he
it's
throw?
a circle change.
Okay,
Um,
so it dives
but
down.
but it hurts his elbow to throw it with something to do with the grip. He thinks, but it's actually hurting him to throw it. And so during the game, he threw. He was doing pretty solid with him. And then he gave up 6 hits, but 3 of the hits were home runs.
Well,
All
does he
3 of
have
the
to
home
throw
runs.
a circle? I mean, I don't think Greg threw a circle change. He just moved the baseball where the pressure was on his ring finger instead of his index. But same
Well,
motion.
that's what his coach is telling him to do, and it's kind of like, it's like you're not really supposed to. He's only a sophomore, so it's not like he doesn't have much to tell his coach to get on with it.
Gotcha. Well, cool, man. I got someone else back here. I appreciate you calling in, Joe. Before you go, on a scale of 1 to 10 for football, state of the fan, 10 is we're on fire, just dissolve the program. Or 0 is on fire, dissolve the program. 10 is we're making a natty run next year. Where do you think we are?
I'd say 6.5.
Okay, 6.5. So you think I would say 6.5 is you can compete for your conference.
I would say that they can. I would say that Tech should at minimum be in the top third of the ACC.
Okay, that's fair. All right, buddy. Appreciate you calling in.
All right, see.
Mr. Ballard. Now, Ballard,
Yes, sir.
I have questions for you before
Oh, shit.
we get into it because
All right.
the last time I heard from you, you were on the midday show with Pete.
Okay.
I think you were. Are you still dating this girl?
Yeah. Why?
Oh, because I hadn't heard anything. I was just, good.
Well,
Things are going
like
well.
no updates or anything?
Huh? Yeah. What are the updates with this girl?
Oh, everything's going great. We're talking. We're not seeing each other as much because she recently got a job and we're just busy with work, but we talk every day on the phone and just we keep in touch. We talk about our future and stuff together and it seems like we're on the same page with a lot of stuff, so that's good.
Have you told her who wears the pants yet? Like, have you laid down the law and said,
I
look,
mean,
I don't know what you think this is, but I'm in charge here. You should definitely take advice from a divorced middle-aged man, by the way.
okay, yeah. I mean, look, I have had those moments where, in a way, I'm serious, but I say it in like a joking kind of way when I'm with her. Like, I'm the man. I'll handle this or whatever, and she just gives me a look like, "You think I can't?"
Oh, Jesus. Well, all right.
I'm like, "Oh crap."
So we closed the poll. It seems like 65% of you say yes, he is the equivalent of Collins in the basketball field. So that's interesting. 4 from Bulldog JC. Yeah, before we continue with you, if I were to put like a state of the fan base for Tech, I'd probably put it around a 5 or a 6. I'll split the difference at a 5.5, just because of the way last season ended and the max exodus of staff. I mean, there's a lot to prove for Brent Key coming into this year. I mean, I'm trying to think who we've retained. I believe the only coaches we've retained are our quarterbacks coach, Chris Winkie, and I'm struggling to think of someone else we've retained on the field staff. Bohannon, I'm sure is still there, but A lot to prove for Brent Key this season. Now, if we go out there and we miss a bowl this season, I think Brent Key's probably in trouble. I don't think we'll fire him because we don't have the money to fire him, but Brent Key's got a lot to prove. What do you want to talk about, Ballard? I know you're an Alabama fan. What is the state of things in Tuscaloosa?
Things are going okay. I mean, we got a quarterback battle with Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. Brought a lot of good recruits in, used the portal pretty well, lost some key guys. But overall, I mean, you the thing with me this offseason is new quarterback means new challenges, which also means they're going to take a step back. And that's not always the case, but that's what keeps clicking in my head and is like, okay, they got this schedule. They open up with East Carolina. They're going to have Florida State at home. They're going to host the Iron Bowl.
You better not
Um,
lose to Florida State
uh,
again. You better not.
oh shit! Especially at home too. I mean,
Because they dick slapped you
it,
last year. Man.
yeah, that was a rude awakening, but we needed it, man, because I thought we looked good throughout the season. I felt like we got better as the year went on, even though we took another loss or two to like Oklahoma the first time around. But no, I think the talent is there. There's going to be inexperience at quarterback for Alabama. Ryan Williams comes back. Bernard, I guess, is coming back. I haven't heard if he's going pro yet or not. I'm not sure, um, but they're going to have the key pieces. I think the schedule sets up pretty fair. We just got to see it happen, and we got to see who's going to be quarterback one um,
Let's look
for
at your schedule.
the Tide.
Alabama
Yeah, go ahead.
2026 schedule. First thing
Now,
I
keep
want
in mind, you will see
Okay.
East Carolina on there. We actually, um, I think it was West Virginia they canceled on us, and last minute, like a year ago, we had to go out and find another team. So that's why we got East Carolina, but it should be at West Virginia. But anyway,
So who are you actually playing? East Carolina at home?
yes,
Okay.
it was it's at home, but it's supposed to be at West Virginia, but they canceled the home and home.
All right. First thing I want to look at is what your away games are. At Kentucky, you should be able to handle. At Mississippi State, you should be able to handle. However, Mississippi State has really become a tricky team to play in the
For
SEC.
sure.
They're the kind of team that can bite you, and they don't have anything to lose, and you have everything to lose. But I would chalk that up as a W for you. At Tennessee is not the easiest game for you now. Joey Aguilar is not getting his 17th year of eligibility, so I don't know exactly who's going to be playing quarterback for Tennessee. But look, at Neyland's tough, right? Did you lose to them last year? Or is it
Not last year, but the last 2 years at Neyland in 22 and 24, they got us,
Okay.
which is what'll make that interesting. Josh Heupel's got a number on Alabama when it comes to Neyland.
Then you got at LSU, which is tough. Which is
Lane Kiffin, by the way.
Yes, Lane Kiffin's going to be there. Now,
No.
do I think Lane Kiffin is a degenerate son of a bitch? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I think Lane Kiffin is one of the best coaches in the country? Also, yes. Also, yes. He's the best at developing quarterbacks, and he might be the best offensive mind in the country. That's arguable, but that's going to be a tough out.
He's up there. There's a handful of coaches like that. I don't like Lincoln Riley and what he's done at USC. I liked what he did at Oklahoma, but he's still a hell of a quarterback guru, I'd say. I'd have to go look at some other guys, but Lane Kiffin's up there for offensive gurus.
Yeah, then you got at Vanderbilt. So your road games are Kentucky, Mississippi State, LSU, and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt will be tough.
Back-to-back road games, by the way, with LSU and Vandy. So that's a trip. That's almost a trap right there.
Yeah, you've got a murderer's row here a little bit. You've got at Tennessee, October 17th, Texas A&M, the 24th. Luckily, you get a bye. Then you go on the road LSU, and you stay on the road Vandy. So I would agree with you. Your schedule does stack up nicely. Now, you do catch Georgia, but you get them in Tuscaloosa, and you've had Georgia's number. Now Georgia's got some wins on you, but on the macro scale there, I mean, Alabama has just been able to beat Georgia. And then Auburn, I didn't realize this. Auburn has been down worse than Georgia Tech over the past decade.
I love hearing you say stuff like that about Auburn. Continue.
And it doesn't mean anything to me necessarily, but I mean, I was talking with Papa Rec about it. Like Auburn, when was the last time they went to a bowl game? I don't even know. It's been
It
a
was
minute.
like 20. It's been a couple years, but I think it was like 21 or 22. Outside of that, man, well, you got to think Brian Harsin came into the SEC from Boise State, and then Hugh Freeze ran it further into the ground.
So
And now I actually, with Auburn, not to get off too far on him, but I do like Golish from USF. I think he's a great, incredible coach. But again, like I said with Harsin, when they hired him, you're going after a group of five guy. You got to implement that in the SEC, and that's not easy to do. But, anyways.
Well, it's not hard for anyone to coach in the SEC. Obviously, it's a great conference with a lot of talent.
Mhm.
But along with that, you have this added obstacle, if you want to call it, of I don't know many SEC schools that are going to they're going to look to fire you pretty early.
Yeah.
Auburn was looking to fire Harsin the minute that they hired him, which is insane to me. But so 2019 was the last time Auburn made a bowl. So they're going 6 years without making a bowl. I mean, that's
the last time they beat Alabama, by the way, too, if you want to, really put that in perspective. And, God, they haven't done anything since 2019. They haven't done anything since last decade, sir. I mean, you know how Uncle Lou goes off on Tennessee about they haven't won anything since last century. Auburn hasn't done anything since last decade. Holy cow. Anyway.
And they're not a program without an alumni or without money. I mean, they might not have as much as the Georgias and Ohio States and LSUs of the world, but Auburn should not be 6 years going on 7 without even making a bowl. I think a good bit of that is probably their insane donor base where, they want to make the hire. And I don't necessarily think it's a mistake to hire a group of 5 guy.
No.
And everyone was at a disadvantage this past year that wasn't the Ohio States, LSU's of the world, because everyone was hiring a coach. That's probably goes into why Norvell wasn't fired at Florida State. Who are they going to get? Who the hell wants to go to that dumpster fire right now? And they don't have any money to hire anyone at the moment. But he will be fired probably week 8. I think his buyout steps down like week 8 or something of this season. But anyways. So looking at your schedule, you got Eastern Carolina, Kentucky, Florida State, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Georgia, Tennessee, A&M, LSU, Vandy, whoever the Chattanooga Mocs are, and Auburn. What's your way too early prediction for Bama this year?
Saying that I think the schedule sets up, but also taking the fact we'll have a new and very young quarterback, whoever it is, between Russell or Mack. You still get Ryan Williams back. We got some good pieces coming back outside of that. I'm gonna say I think the ceiling is 10-2.
Okay.
And the floor, I mean, am I crazy to say we could lose 4 games?
No.
Is that, I mean, at the floor. At the floor.
No, you could lose to LSU.
Because
you could lose
think
to
about it.
Georgia and
Okay,
A&M.
we could
and Tennessee.
Well, we could lose. Yeah, and
That's 4.
I hate to say it, but I mean, nah, who the hell am I kidding? So we'll beat East Carolina. I would say this. I don't like Kentucky right now. I think they're I think they're dead. I think Kentucky's dead. But going on the road and opening SEC play like that straight out the gate in week 2 with a new quarterback and everything, you always got to be careful with stuff like that. That could be losable, but I doubt it. So you have games like that. You got Tennessee and LSU on the road. One, if not both, are probably going to be a loss. Georgia, even though it's in Tuscaloosa, they might be better. I don't know.
Georgia's going to be tough.
I mean,
I
Georgia's
don't
going
want
to be
to.
really tough.
I don't want to give them any credit, but Georgia's going to be tough. I mean, they returned their quarterback that played well for them last year in Gunnar Stockton. They've recruited in the top 5 for ever, but they're going to be. I agree with you. I think somewhere between 10-2 and 8-4 is a reasonable expectation.
Yeah. I want to talk real quick too. I won't take up too much of your time, but
All right.
I found an article here,
I see you, Zach,
and I
by the
want
way.
your
We'll get
thoughts
to you
on.
next. Go ahead.
Yeah, I see this article here from Jackson Caudell. I'm not sure. Oh, it's Georgia Yellow Jackets on SI.
He's been
put
on the show
out
before.
this.
He's a tech guy for SI.
That's cool. So he puts out 5 most impactful Georgia Tech transfers not named Justice Haynes or Alberto Mendoza. Obviously, your 2 best players. Who are you looking forward to seeing? And then, like, but one of them that did transfer is Jalen Mbakwe. Please, please put him on the field. I think he's really good.
What's the
Now,
deal
he
with
didn't really
him?
see all the time in the world at Alabama. Here's the thing about him is I had made a video before last season, like this past year, um, because they switched him to receiver
Yes. He
because he's
wanted to do
technically
that.
like a DB. Yeah, and I had made a video, and it might even still be up. I'm not sure, but um, it was basically, is he the next Travis Hunter, where he's going to be this year's like 2-way player, where he's going to play both sides of the field? Is it going to be a trend in college football? Anyway, but regardless of if he plays both ways or not at Georgia Tech, find a way to use him because he's really, really good. That's a guy you don't want to overlook too much. And
I
then
I hope we
you
don't
also got
play him
another
both
guy from
ways.
us, Joseph Ionata on the O
Center.
line, but I don't know much about him.
I think he's a center,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. With Mbakwe, and you
probably.
tell me, I mean, you know more about Alabama players. Something tells me there's some sort of off the field issue with him. But I think he needs to play solely defensive back. Georgia Tech doesn't. I
Right.
don't think needs a ton of help at wide receiver. I think we're going to be fine. We need a ton of help on defense, and we've given up a ton of yards through the air. So I would like to see him play defensive back.
So, as far as off the field stuff, um, I'm not sure. I have seen off the field issues for some players over the years at Alabama, but I don't think I've seen much for him. But um, he's again like he's really really good. If he stays healthy, y'all should start him. Like just utilize his talent. He's highly recruited out of high school from Clay Chalkville in Pinson, Alabama, um, or Trussville or wherever I don't know, but um, he yeah, he's gonna be a star. But to answer your question there, I don't know if he's had off the field issues or anything.
All right, man. Appreciate you calling in, Ballard.
Yeah,
Have a good one, buddy.
good to talk with you, man. We'll keep in touch.
Yes, sir. Oh, are you going to be at the
All right.
Slobs?
Oh yeah, I'll be there. Are you getting there?
Yeah, got my hotel room.
Nice. I'll be there Friday.
All right, sounds good, buddy.
All right, man.
All right, Mr. Zach Jones, King Season. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, Rick? How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good.
Man, how about these baseball jackets?
Dude, they're looking really good. I tell you what. Oh, God. Hold on one second.
THWG, I'm joining late, but good to see you.
Appreciate it, T Branch. Appreciate the $5. Yeah, dude, I have not paid attention to Georgia Tech baseball ever, but they've given me a reason to. I went down there Valentine's Day weekend, and, well, I think we ended up leaving it like the 5th. Like, I took my daughter, and she's like, can we go? I mean, they're going to win. They scored 11 runs, I think, in the 3rd inning of that game.
THWG, I'm joining late, but good to see you.
Always good to hear it twice. So what do you think, man? So the baseball thing is rocking. We need something. To be excited about.
I went to the game yesterday, and it's always good to see a blowout. Like I watched the game today, and we won today, like it was 20 something to 3, I think. It's always good to see a blowout, but anytime you have a super close game like we did yesterday versus lower level competition, it's good to see if your guys can come back and you know because whenever you have a game like that, I'll compare it to football. If you're playing, if it's look at this past year, if Gardner Webb would have kept it close, who knows if Haynes King stays locked in and he doesn't throw a pick six to lose the game. It's just an example, kind of a joking example, but it's just the
Yeah.
truth. Good teams, if they're being battled by lesser teams that maybe they didn't really expect it out of, maybe you can slip up and you'll lose the game because you weren't really expecting it. And we came back from like 3 or 4 runs, and I was sure we were going to lose that game, but we came back from like 3 or 4 runs down, and Vaughn Lackey walked it off in the 10th inning, so that was a good game to be at. And
Killer. I think you're absolutely right, by the way. Like, you can be looking at football, like under Nick Saban, they got in that situation with lesser talent, but they just found a way to win. They just won those games. And unfortunately, Georgia's been able to do that under most of Kirby Smart. So that's what you got to do.
and that is the sign of and that's where I was kind of leading to. That is the sign of a good, disciplined, and good coach team. The fact you can stay locked in and over multiple innings. We brought in Dylan Loy. And he went, I want to say, 5.5 innings. He didn't allow any runs. I don't think he allowed any hits. He may have allowed one or two, but didn't allow any runs. That guy is really good. He's a transfer from Tennessee. He's going to be a really good pitcher for us this year. I really like this team. I won't say right now that we got to win the College World Series. But I think we'll make it to Omaha. I think we'll at least make it there. I don't know if we got the pitching to win it, but I think this offense will make it there.
Yeah, I think you've at least got to get the Danny Hall monkey off your back of exiting in like the first round or something. Like, you need to at least get beyond that. That would be my expectation as someone who doesn't know anything about it.
Well, I'll tell you, what's his name? Joey Dodd. He could tell you a lot more, and he can go into more depth about this because he's been following, Tech baseball a lot longer than I have. But my biggest thing when it came to, Danny Hall, he just seemed very conservative to me, and that's really was my biggest gripe with him. And he said it on the broadcast for the Bowling Green game. They brought him on Valentine's Day. That I think that was the game you were at.
Yeah.
They brought him on the broadcast, and they were talking to him about James Ramsey, and he was like, "Look, here's the difference. When our guys, and it was multiple times where our batters would get into 3-0 counts, and he would say, "This is where I do not want my guys. I don't want my guys swinging. If you're in a 3-0 count, play it safe. Try to look for a ball. Don't swing." Versus James Ramsey, he wants the guys to swing, and that's really why I like James Ramsey. He's player friendly. He's very aggressive. He wants the guys to be aggressive. He wants to put up runs. Wants to put up doubles. He's not looking just for the safe plays, and that's really the biggest difference I've seen between them so far, and that's really what I like about him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's fun. It's fun to watch. I even think, like, remind me RAD's name again. It came from Tennessee. Alpert. Yeah. Alpert. That Hall of Champions thing. It's like $100 a ticket, and then you get to go in. I don't know, is Teixeira in there or something? I know I saw people who were past players walking out. I think that's cool because you don't have to do it, and then baseball tickets are like $10 a piece. Anyways, but I think that's good. So Alberto, a Timu version of Fernando. So people asking, is Alberto going to be any good? I don't know what you think. I don't know. Like, how could I possibly know that? I think he's going to be very fundamentally sound coming out of a very well coached team in Indiana. But like Ballard was saying, I guess Caudill was like, these are obviously your two best players. I don't know. Justice Haynes is. I don't necessarily know about Alberto. I got to see him play.
I think Alberto, like, you still got some Tech fans that'll sit there and say, "Oh, it's a 4-man QB competition." It's clearly not. That doesn't exist. I could see maybe a 3-man. If you ask me, I really think it's going to be Alberto versus Grady. And I think Graham Knowles is transferring out after this year. If he doesn't try to find a way to leave in the spring, he may do that because with how college football is now, even though
Is there a
there's
spring portal period? I thought that went away.
there's not, but with how the rules are now, if a guy really wants to leave in the spring, I'm sure he could probably find a way. I don't know if Graham would do that. I don't know if he's that type of guy. I just don't think he's ever going to play here. I really think it's between Alberto and Grady, if you ask me, and I think Alberto is the guy. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I did my ACC quarterback rankings. I posted them on my Twitter the other day. I have him right now preseason. I have him number 8 in the ACC. I think he's going to be solid. I think he'll be an above average ACC starter, and I think he could possibly rise to the top 5, top 6. But I think it really, it just depends. I think it also depends on play calling because
Yep.
I think we'll run a lot of 12 personnel. We'll probably have 2 wide receivers out there most of the time. We're going to have 2 tight ends. We're going to have, we're going to be very run heavy. So I don't know. I think if you look at, like you mentioned, the fundamentals, I think in terms of protecting the football, in terms of IQ, in terms of pure winning, I think Alberto can be up there. But in terms of like filling the stat sheet, I don't necessarily know if he could be up there in that way.
Yeah, I agree. And it's a really good point. You look at all the hires that have been brought in. Now, if you don't ever want to hear anything slightly or remotely negative about Georgia Tech, just click off the video or something. I don't know what to tell you. You have this mass exodus of players, and then we bring in Godsey and we bring in Coach Boogie. These were clearly hires that are going to come in and never question anything that Coach Key wants to do. Coach Key wants to pound the rock, run the football, and then situationally play action and pass off of it. So I think we brought in Alberto to be like a field general type quarterback that's going to, like you said, protect the football and make high percentage, like wide open throws. So I don't know that he's going to be put in a position where he's going to, or the goal is that he's going to need to throw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. I don't think that's the game plan.
I'll be honest. I don't think we'll have as many. I don't think we'll have as many electric players, or I don't think the offensive line will be as good. And the comparison I'm making, I could see us being very similar to Miami this year. And when I say I don't think the offense will be as electric, it's because Malachi Tony, he took that passing game to another level. And our wide receivers we're not going to have a wide receiver as good as Malachi Tony. It's just not going to happen.
Not many
But
people are, but yeah.
no. But I think in terms of like the run game, Miami's run game was very, very good this year. Um, Carson Beck, people trash on him. I've trashed on him too, but if you actually look at it, he was a really solid starter for them this year. He wasn't really an electric passer, but for the most part, other than the national championship and 2 regular season games, he was a highly efficient field general quarterback, and it took him to the national championship game. And I'm not saying we'll have, national championship success, but I think in terms of how the offense is ran, like in terms of purely running the ball and, having a field general quarterback like that just makes the throws he needs to make, I could kind of see where, that's kind of where it is. Now, hopefully Alberto doesn't turn the ball over in times like, Carson Beck did, but I could kind of see it being, similar styles.
Or Haynes King. I mean, I would like Alberto to be able to make the throws when he has to. Haynes King had really good games toward the end of his last year when we were down and they're just playing way off and there's wide open throws underneath. When he got put in a position at Pitt where they just took away his run, I mean, it weren't good. So
I'm going to be intrigued to see how Alberto does with that, because have you watched Alberto's highlights?
I have not. I mean, there aren't many for college, right?
I posted. You can go on my YouTube channel. I posted his highlights. It's like a 4.5 minute video, so you can check it out. It was his highlights from this year when he was backup, and really the biggest thing that stands out He had like one super tight throw into zone coverage. It was about a 15-yard pass. That was a really good play. But really, what stood out is his speed. Like I think if you put him and Haynes King against each other on a track, I think Alberto would beat Haynes King in a race. So it's going to be very. Now the difference is Haynes King is a lot tougher, obviously. So I think Haynes King could probably run for longer. Like I think he could carry the ball more. But I think Alberto is purely faster. So it's going to be interesting to see how Gotzi implements that into the game plan.
Yeah, I would. Now, that's another good point. Just because someone does something well doesn't mean that you absolutely beat them into the ground with
Right.
it, which is what we did with
Battering
Haynes
ram.
King.
Battering ram, literally a battering ram.
Yeah. And it's this
What
idea like, well, if we just execute it, then it'll work. Well, yeah, but it's hard to execute when they know what you're going to do.
and it's like when you look at the bowl game and stuff, like don't get me wrong, was it frustrating to see us backdrop and or backdrop? Was it frustrating to see us drop back and pass so many times versus BYU, and that's clearly not Haynes King's biggest strength? Yes. But you got to consider when the guy has overall minus the Gardner Webb game, he stayed healthy all year,
Mhm.
but still he's a human being. You can't expect him to go out there and run the ball that many times throughout the season, and then when it comes to the bowl game, you can't expect him to do that the entire game versus BYU and win the game. It's just not like I saw so many Tech fans. Why can't we just run Haynes King here? Right? If we would have just ran Haynes King versus BYU, we would have won the game. That's not how it works. He might have not been able to do it that much.
Yeah, I think the fair criticism would be there were opportunities he had to run and then he forced a throw for an
Right.
incompletion or something. But like
That he
here,
should have. That he should have done. What I wouldn't expect is QB run play calls like Buster called so many like QB runs that I fully I don't blame what's his name help me out, what's his name, QB coach.
oh, Chris Winkie.
Winky. I don't blame Winky for not calling any QB runs. What I do blame in that department, Haynes King should have taken off. But what I disagree with is the Tech fans that say, "Oh, Winky should have called more QB runs." You don't know what Haynes King was feeling like that in that situation. All we may have been able to do was drop back and pass. That's where Haynes King should have known, his IQ should have known better. Okay, I needed to take off there, but hindsight's 2020. So I mean,
Yeah, it's easy to say after the fact. And anytime something doesn't work out offensively, it was a dumb play call. What the
right.
hell was he thinking? Even like Buster was just so predictable, to be honest. He had the talent to get away with it. I don't I don't know that that's true. I think people are going to be really shocked with what Florida does with them. I
I
really
think
do.
Florida is gonna. I don't think they're gonna light the SEC on fire, but I could easily see them getting around 7 wins. I won't say any more than that because their schedule is still tough.
It's
But
ridiculous. It's
I
ridiculous again.
yeah, I could easily see them getting to 7 wins, and I think Philo could be a top 6, top 7 quarterback in the SEC.
Let's look at Florida's schedule real quick.
He'll have some turnovers. Like I could possibly see him just because he is a gunslinger. I could see him kind of being like a 2023 Haynes King. I don't think as many interceptions, but I could see like maybe 3,000 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, and maybe like 10 or 11 picks. I could see something like that.
Okay, so it's not near as ridiculous as it was last year. Last year, they had one of the toughest schedules I think any team's ever had in the history of football. But they open up with Florida Atlantic, Campbell, and then at Auburn. That'll be a good little test. They get Ole Miss at home, at Missouri. Missouri can be a tricky team. They were disappointing last year, though. South Carolina is trying to figure out what the hell is going on with Beamer. Then they've got at Texas, October 17th. They have a bye. Then they come back and play Georgia, which is all it in the bins. In the bins. I guess they're doing construction or something in Jacksonville. I don't know. Somehow that's okay
I
for
I
them.
might go to that. I'm not gonna lie. I might go to that.
It would be nice. Yeah, I'd like to see Philo. I don't hate Philo. So that would be
Yeah,
kind of
I
interesting.
I think I'm probably going to try to go to that game. That's intriguing.
I guess we don't get to make fun of them for playing in the Benz, but it's wrong for us. But anyways, we'll overlook that. Then they've got Oklahoma at Kentucky, Vandy at Florida State. So I think they lose to Ole Miss. I think they lose to Georgia. I think they lose to Oklahoma. And then they probably drop one between Auburn, Kentucky, Vandy, and Florida State.
Hey, I'm not going to lie though, Rick. Like, can we like talk from an unbiased point of view here?
Yeah.
If Philo beats Georgia in the Benz, I'm not going to lie. That would fucking hurt. That would really fucking hurt.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it
It would
would.
fucking
And then
hurt.
I'd love to hear the excuses from some Tech fans. Well, he would have never done it here or whatever. Buster still sucks. You know, like, come on, man.
That
Come
would
on.
that would fucking sting bad because I'm a Haynes King glazer. I love Haynes King, but that would fucking hurt.
Yeah, losing Philo hurt bad. He's a better quarterback than Mendoza, in my opinion. He's got more experience than Mendoza.
I think Mendoza will probably protect the ball better, and I think he's probably more accurate and he's probably has more IQ. But in terms of just in terms of who is going to probably make it to the NFL, because let's be real, the NFL doesn't care if you have low turnovers and stuff like that. They care about, do you have an NFL arm? Can you make the fucking throw? Because they can coach you up. You know what I mean? They can coach you up to not have a bunch of turnovers. But I think in terms of who is probably going to be higher in the draft and all that, I think Philo's better in that department. But I think Mendoza might have him beat on like turnovers or something like that.
Yeah, Philo doesn't necessarily have the size you expect in an NFL quarterback, but neither did Drew Brees. And I'm not saying he's as good as Drew Brees, but I think he could be more that than not. Oh, my mom's in here at WreckTalk's mom. Sweetie, it's time for bed. Please turn off your live stream. Take a bath. Your dad and I can smell you from upstairs. Well, contrary to popular belief, I don't live with my parents, but I do appreciate that, Mom. I'm kind of excited for Mendoza. I'll take a guy who played under Signetti machine and brings that mindset here. Do you remember before we got Mendoza and everyone was like, dude, Graham Knowles is the guy. He's going to be great. And then we get Mendoza and everyone's like, who was that other guy again? I
Right.
don't know. It's just it's going to be great no matter what. That's all I know.
I don't think Mendoza will ever be like, I don't think he's ever going to be in risk of like losing his job or anything, just because I think he has a good head on his shoulders. I think obviously, I think he took in good stuff from Signetti. He's had good coaching. I think the better question is like I still see some Tech fans saying like, oh, at what point are we going to have to put in one of the backups? I don't think that's the question. I think the better question is, can he ever rise into like being a top 5 ACC quarterback? I think it's pretty much a lock. He'll at least be average just because of his background. I think he'll be decently average. I think the better question is, can he take the step to where he really wins us games? Because that's what we need. If we're going to be a good team, you need a quarterback that is going to step up and win you games. I think he could easily take us to a bowl, but the question is, can he step up and take you to 8, 9, 10 wins? That's the bigger question.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like when you look at teams that go deep into the playoffs, they have pretty damn good quarterbacks.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on the schedule?
Let me look. That's a good question. I was going to do that too. Let's look at Georgia Tech 2026 schedule.
Read it off and do your way too early predictions, I guess.
So Colorado, if we can't beat Colorado in week 1, we're in bad trouble. We're in bad trouble. Colorado is down bad. How much? And they don't even have like the press on their side anymore, or this like Deion effect. No one gives a shit about Colorado or Deion Sanders anymore. No one. All the people that proposed to be Colorado fans or Deion Sanders fans are bitching about how Shador is being treated in the NFL now because Colorado sucks. I think they had every single defensive lineman on their roster. I'm not talking about that played. I'm talking about every single one hit the portal this year. All of them. Colorado will do well to win 4 games this year, I think. So I think we do beat Colorado. I'm really glad this isn't in the Benz. I'm really glad that we're starting off at Bobby Dodd.
Yeah.
That should be a win.
I love it's on Thursday night, too. That gives us extra time for Tennessee.
Yes, Thursday night game, which has to be calculated. I don't know who else is playing on that Thursday, but we have to be. I guess has the time been announced?
FCS teams. We'll be on ESPN prime time.
Well, Thursday night games are always at 7:30, right? 7:30 or 8.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
So that should be a win. Tennessee at home again. That one I don't know. I would say Tennessee probably is a good bit more talented than Georgia Tech. I don't know who their quarterback's going to be, and I don't know enough about Tennessee to feel like I can give a real educated take on that. I'm going to count that as a loss for right now, and we'll come back to it.
I think I would probably I would lean more towards, like, if I'm talking from an unbiased point of view, I would lean more towards a loss for Georgia Tech. But coming from a Tech fan, I honestly I want to say win. Like, if I had to put money on it, I guess I would probably bet Tennessee, but I wouldn't put money on it because as a Tech fan at heart, I think we honestly have a good shot at winning that, because when you look at it now, if he got approved, I would 100% say, yeah, that's a loss. Aguilar's about to come in, and maybe the defense is better. Maybe he doesn't light us up, but Aguilar would win that game. They're going to be starting a freshman quarterback. Their defense, they lost a lot on defense, and their defense really wasn't all that last year. Their defense was actually pretty below average in the SEC. I think if we got our run game going, I think we have a shot in that game.
I think that game comes down to one thing, and that's what does our defense look like.
I thought you were going to say who plays better at quarterback.
No, I think it's going to come down to our defense. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a good test for damn, what's our DC's new name? What's his name? I forget.
His nickname's Coach Boogie. I think it's Tay Seymour is his name.
Seymour. I was like, I know his last name starts with an S. Seymour, that's right. Yeah, it'll be a good early test for him.
Yeah, because he wasn't doing great when we hired him. So I'm going to need to see a lot out of him this year. Then we get Mercer. That's a win. At Stanford, I guess could be tricky because you're going across coast, but Stanford's pretty bad.
If that was a November game, I'd be very worried. But I think we probably have them in September.
They did beat Florida State last year, but who didn't? So then you get your first and only bye of the year, which is tough. You get Duke at home. I'm never picking us to lose to Duke until we do it.
They're going to be shit next year. I hate to say it. I think Manny Diaz is a good coach, but man, I actually feel bad for Duke fans. You lose. I know Haynes King won ACC Player of the Year, but in terms of electricity and actually like putting points up, I think Mensah was a better quarterback, but Haynes King was more efficient. So it's really a debate. But you lose Mensah, you lose one of the best wide receivers in the ACC, and now everybody's projecting you to have one of the worst quarterbacks in the ACC. I feel bad for Duke fans. I feel really bad for them, actually.
I'd say we beat Duke at Virginia Tech. I would probably – it's tough to say because they do turn over everything.
Go to that game, Rick. I'm going to that game. Go to that game. That's going to be fucking electric. I want to go. I'm going to that game. I've wanted to go to Blacksburg for a Tecmo Bowl for so long, and this is the perfect time too.
I think that's a good idea. So they do turn over everything, but they might have made the best hire in the cycle. And I'm talking about of anybody. I think he might end up being a better hire than Lane Kiffin in Franklin. So I think that's a 50-50 game. It's on the road.
I have it as a loss.
Yeah, I'd probably pencil that in as a loss. So I'd have us losing to Tennessee and Virginia Tech up to this point. Then you get Boston College at home. I mean, we did everything we could do to lose to Boston College last year. People clowned me for being worried about that game. I mean, you should be able to handle Boston College. But
Yeah,
Boston
they
College
lost
is
their
tough.
good quarterback to Rutgers. They've got some guy coming in from Saginaw State or some shit.
All right, I'll say we beat Boston College at Pitt. My instinct says that's a loss. But I don't know anything about Pitt coming into this year. I assume they returned their quarterback, that kid that was a freshman last year, or did they lose him?
They kept him.
Yeah, for that reason alone, I'm going to say that they beat us on the road, with us on the road. That's 3 losses. Louisville at home. We can't beat Louisville to save our lives. So I'm going to say that's a loss for the same reason I say I'm not picking Duke to beat us until they do. I'm not picking us to beat Louisville till we beat
I'll
them.
say this though, Rick. One thing that Key has done, and I've criticized Key. I like Key, but I've criticized him. But one thing he has consistently done, even though Clemson wasn't that good last year, they were a top 15 team when we beat them. He has got at least one very good upset every single year he's been here. Could Louisville finally be the year he beats them? Could they come to Atlanta, possibly being a top 20 team? I'd imagine they'd be ranked. Could we finally do it this year? I don't know.
Maybe that would be a good game to do it. We got old Chops 270 in here says you're going down, Rec. Yeah, I mean, Louisville's had our number. Then you go at Clemson, which I don't know what the hell to think about Clemson right now. I mean, they're on a downward trajectory. They had the worst season they've had probably since like Dabo's first 2 or 3 years. But when was the last time we beat Clemson in Death Valley? I mean,
2009?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a minute. I would pick that as a loss too. I mean, here's where you're really going to find out about Key. You got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 game stretch here where you've got no buys. You've got Duke at Virginia Tech, Boston College at Pitt, Louisville at Clemson.
Yeah.
All right, so what did I say? 6 games. If he can't go 500 there, I think we're in trouble. And it's not clear to me that he does. Dabo is a dumpster fire. Are we going to storm the field again if we beat Tennessee? The real question is, are we going to storm the field if we beat Clemson on the road? Because they storm the field every game. So it would just be a normal thing. Pretty sure James Ramsey could coach the basketball team to a winning record. I think you're right. Dang, so I got us dropping 3 in a row. Then Wake Forest at home. If we were playing in Winston-Salem, I'd say that's a loss too, but I think we can handle Wake at home. And then at Georgia.
I think that's our homecoming game.
Okay. At Georgia, I've said this before and I'm not changing my mind. Like, I'm not picking us to beat Georgia until we do.
Yeah.
And if I was going to, it certainly wouldn't be this year. Oh, Gordon Ramsay could probably coach. Gordon Ramsay could definitely coach the basketball team better. What are you doing, you donkey? Gordon Ramsay would be a great basketball coach for us. Me. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses. So I bet the over-under 6.5 on us next year. I don't know that it's been set yet, but I think for Key not to be in a situation where we're all really wondering about him, he needs to win 7 games next year.
I agree. I think I would probably say, correct me if I'm wrong. I think I'm probably, well, not correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think I'm definitely higher on them than you are in terms of way too early preseason. Because we still got a while to go.
Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think I probably have them right now at 8-4, and the reason I say 8-4 is because I think we upset Tennessee and Louisville at home. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's 8-4, right?
Yeah, that would be impressive to me, actually.
I think I'm probably saying that, And if you can only upset one of Louisville or Tennessee, I think we will upset one of them because Key does get at least one upset. So I think we'll upset at least one of them. And I would say probably 7-5, but I think I'd probably say 7-5, 8-4. And I think if the defense really still has not improved, then I could see 6-6. And if the defense really hasn't improved, you really have to start asking questions because that's where you're like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, you got your fifth DC in 4 years,
Yeah,
so you
what
gotta
the fuck are you doing?
do something with that. And it's and I hate to tell people this, it's not because they're all shit turds either. That's not why you're on your fifth DC in 5 years. One's probably going to be a DC in the NFL in the next year or two. I agree. So usually every year I'll say you got to win one of these better games on your schedule. You've got to beat Tennessee, Louisville, or Georgia next year too. You got to win one of those games.
Yeah, absolutely have to.
And if you really wanted to start turning the tide, it needs to be Georgia. You need to beat Georgia.
Oh man,
I don't think it's going to happen.
This is purely hypothetical. I don't think this will happen. But could you imagine the what's it called, the hyphoria that we would be on if we beat Tennessee and Georgia? Holy shit!
I'm trying to remember the last time we beat an SEC team.
2016.
It was Georgia in Kirby's
Yeah.
first year. Then
Yep.
I was at that game.
He is 0-4, 0-6, 0-5, 0-6 because he's lost to Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
He's lost to Ole Miss. He's lost to Georgia 3 times. So yeah, 0-5. He's 0-5 versus SEC teams.
Then
I guess 0-6 if you count 2022.
Then I'll rephrase. You need to beat Tennessee or Georgia next year. You need to win one of those games. Having an offer against the SEC is embarrassing. What are you doing? When you play one every single year.
Yeah.
Usually 2, I want to say.
Yeah. Well, Reck, I'm going to hop off here, man. It's been good talking to you for a little while.
All right, man. Appreciate you coming on.
All right. Have a good night.
Yeah, Zach Jones. Yeah, looking at the schedule, it is tougher than next year, but this is a manageable schedule for any team. Like, you'll be favored in 1, 2, 3, 4, at least, without a doubt, 4 games. You'll be favored against Boston College, from what we know right now, Stanford, Mercer, Colorado. You might be favored against Duke and Wake. All right, so that would be 6. You could be favored in 6, for sure for 4. The one bye week is tough, though. The one bye week is tough with the brand of football that we know Brent Key wants to play, with this physical ground and pound type thing. So I think way too early. To me, 2 keys to being successful next year is, damn it, your defense better not be shit. Your defense better be decent or better. And 2, your running back room needs to remain relatively healthy. You can't spend $2.5 million on Justice Haynes and have him for 4 games. Now, what does that mean? That means Hosley's got to get a lot of carries. You can't have Justice Haynes taking 85% of the carries. You're going to have to split the load. Mbakwe needs to be playing defense, needs to be playing DB. Honestly, to have an impressive season next year, there's only one thing that I think you'd need to know, like a keystone stat on, and that's you need to be top 50 defense. You need to be 50th or better total defense. If we don't do that next year, then I think 6-6 it could be tough. Could be tough. So how long have we been on here, guys? I had no plans when we got on here, and we always find a way. We always find a way. I have no idea. It doesn't tell me how long we've been on here. Buster was good at getting everyone involved. Yeah, and I don't know about you guys. I just do not understand the hate that Buster gets from some people. I don't understand the hate that every guy gets that leaves Georgia Tech for any reason. Players, they leave, they're no good, they suck. Coaches, no good, never needed them. That's the other thing. Once we get to December of next year, we better not be turning over 90% of our staff. Because I don't think that's sunk in for people. You have the best season you've had in a decade or longer, and you roll 90% or more of your staff, probably 95% of your staff. We got to start doing better with that. I'll tell you the other thing as we end the show. It's been an hour and a half. Okay. The other thing that we've got to do, you got to start putting guys in the NFL. When you talk about getting casual fans and converting them into diehard fans, it's following a guy in high school that comes to Tech, like Calvin Johnson. I mean, that's the easy example. I remember, where did he come out of? Sandy Springs? He comes to Tech. So you follow him his whole career, has an illustrious NFL career. You've got to start putting guys in the NFL from a fan perspective and from a recruiting perspective. I mean, if I were to look back at over the last decade, how many players Georgia Tech has put in the NFL, and then have another stat, how many of them were impact players in the NFL? It's not many. You got to start changing that. You got to start changing that. Georgia Tech is becoming a feeder program for the SEC. Colorado is how we get more fans. Great opportunity to expand fan base to Atlanta audience. Let me think about that. I don't know that that's how you get more fans. You get more fans by being successful on the field and having storylines. That's what was so frustrating about the end of last year is you have this wonderful storyline with Haynes King. ESPN writes this long article about it, which was basically about how horrible his parents were to him. But anyway, you have that storyline, Heisman hopeful, and then you shut down your own leg. You got to avoid doing that. When the opportunity's there, you got to take it. Stoudemire's the basketball Jeff Collins. ATL audience will come to the Dodd to watch Deion in Colorado, and then they will see Tech. Then they will become Tech fans. Maybe, yeah. Maybe. Like I said, really, not only do you need to beat Colorado, you need to beat them into the ground. You need to make a statement, game one with Colorado, and show up ready to go. Unlike last year, where you start the game off on your first 3 offensive series turning the ball over. That tells you how bad Colorado really was, is that we overcame that. I genuinely won't be shocked if Damon isn't fired, though. Well, what is his buyout? I mean, certainly we haven't signed him to an extension. They would owe him $2.94 million, so they'd owe him $3 million. Yeah, it's $3 million, which represents 60% of his remaining contract that runs through 2027. So his contract only runs through next year anyway. If you don't fire Damon at the end of this year, then, I mean, what are you doing? What more do you need to see? What more do you need to see? Alpert needs to be questioned if he doesn't fire Damon. I mean, literally, it seems like anyone else. What is the issue with Damon? Does anyone know? Why have you only won 2 conference games? What is the issue? Is because he came. I was excited about the hire because he came from the Celtics in the whole Missoula ball thing, and then it just never worked out at Tech. I don't understand. What are the chances that Colorado can get Shedeur to come back? The same chances that I'll have sex with Jennifer Aniston after the show. They're the same odds. I mean, that Alabama basketball player tried to come back to college after making an NBA roster, and that got shot down. But I'm still not so sure that won't happen. Because that's where we're headed if we don't get some kind of like minimal guidance and rules. You're going to have people go to the NFL, suck in their first 3 years, and come back to college. That's what's going to end up happening. They don't move without the ball. They can't shoot. They can't pass. So what it sounds like is, I remember Chef saying this in South Park. We have the heart and the will, but we don't have the talent or fundamentals. That's what it sounds like you're telling me. Well, I guess we do have some talent, but we don't have the coaching. I really want us to keep the pedal down and we have leads and not get conservative this year. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why anyone would watch Georgia Tech basketball right now, but look, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I appreciate y'all coming in. And by the way, before you go, the GoFundMe is pinned at the top of the chat. Again, our boy Cdogg having to go to Boston to have open heart surgery for his baby. So if you can find it within you, donate to that. And because they don't know how long they're going to be there. It could be a month, it could be 2 months. I mean, who knows? So with that being said, and by the way, the link for that, not only pinned to the top of the chat, link is in the description of this video. Help out in any way you can. And we're going to get out of here, guys. We're going to keep doing shows. We're going to upload some videos. We're going to watch some old Tech games for members. We'll probably watch some baseball games for members. Maybe we'll react to some Damon press conferences, but we're going to get back in the saddle here. You guys have a good one.